Hello makers! Welcome to Always Yarn First, a podcast about knitting, crochet, and all the yarny goodness in between. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome! It's been 3 weeks since I've been here. I've touched a lot of things, but not made significant progress except for maybe one thing. So, this is episode 13, and before we get started, as always, I like to mention my knit-alongs that I currently have running. I have 2 that I'm hosting. One I'm co-hosting with my friend Lori from ArkansasYarnCo. It is the Chevron Year Itch. You can use that hashtag and post pictures of any chevron blanket project, whether it's crochet or knit. Or you can post pictures on Lori's group site, which is ArkansasYarnCo. And then the other one I'm hosting is the Slash My Stash 2022 Mal. Again, it's knit or crochet. The only thing is that every yarn in it has to be from your stash, so before this calendar year you had. That is the only prerequisite. So I am pulling a prize for that one every single month, where I'm giving a yarn from my stash away. And last month, I forgot to write down the winner, but I will insert it below. The winners have already been contacted for May, and it will be going out in the mail Monday. So for June, this is a pretty special one, guys. Let me adjust this. This is a skein of mustache yarn. If you have never tried mustache yarn, this is one of my favorite self-striping yarn dyers. These are actually 2 50-gram cakes separated, so you get a perfect match if you're doing socks. The reason I'm giving this one away is because I was going to do the sweater last year for the yarn crawl that I did by Telly B Knits, and now the name is escaping me. But I decided it wasn't my jam, so I didn't do it. So I already had a skein of this, but you basically needed 2 skeins of the self-striping to go around the top of it. And so I still have a skein of this, but I don't need 2 of them now that I know I'm not doing that sweater. So this will be the giveaway for June. So make sure you use the hashtag /mystash2022MAL on Instagram to be eligible for that. If you don't have Instagram, there is also, you can go to my Ravelry group page and post your photos on there in the thread. That also is included, that I pull from those 2 places a winner each month. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I name every one of my podcasts after a song because I'm a huge music lover of all genres, and it usually has something to do with the weeks I've had or a project I'm doing. So this week's episode is called Do What I Gotta Do. The Ralph Tresvant song will be linked below if you want to hear that. So I'm basically working on, I really need to start focusing on a couple projects that I will get into shortly. So what am I wearing? I am wearing my finished object. Guys, I finished my rocket tee. This is a pattern by Tanis Lavallee, who's also Tanis Fiber Arts. This has been a joy to knit and a joy to wear. I've worn it a couple times now. I finished it, I think, shortly after I finished the podcast last time. So I've worn it a couple of times. I love this. I will be making many more of these. This is made with Expression Fiber Arts is the lace. This calls for a fingering striped with a mohair. I didn't use mohair, but I did use lace weight. It is Expression Fiber Arts Wisp lace in their Happy Buzz colorway. And guess what, guys? I actually finally found, this whole time I couldn't find what this green yarn was, and many of you have been asking. I finally found it on Ravelry in my stash. I don't know why I looked there before and couldn't find it, but this green is Woolen Boon Classic, and the colorway is Ever. So Woolen Boon, I was wrong about that the whole time. I thought it was from Stitch Together Studio, but Woolen Boon is the yarn. So I just love this. It is a great knit summer top. It's nice and loose, open. It's very, very comfortable to wear. So many more of these are my future after I get some things that have kind of a time limit going on them. So that is my finished object. The only other finished object I did is another dishcloth. I ran out of this one. I've been doing dishcloths. I pretty much, well, I feel like for the time being at least, always will have one on my needles because it's enjoyable and it's easy. And if I don't want to think about it, I just pick up this. So I've been using the I Love This Cotton. I don't remember either of the colors. I have a couple that I use. This one skein. It's variegated. I ran out here, so I basically went till I ran out on the increases and then started just the red color on the decreasing. And now I'm working on another red one for that. So that is my only finished things. I do have a new cast on. So once I finished this summer top, I had many that I wanted to start. I almost cast on 2, but I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't because, like I said, there's a couple projects which we'll go into that I have to put some attention to. I'm barely cast onto this, but I am finally cast on my Oats sweater by Julie Tootill. This is using Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in the Harvest colorway. There it is. And this has been on my wish list for quite a while. This actually is in my Make 9. I feel like it was on my Make 9 last year. So I felt like it was time to get this thing on the needles. So really liking this so far, but like I said, barely have gotten started. And it is in my Woolly Bean bag, which I will also link below all the bags on my needles. So not much to say about this yet. I'll talk more about it like once I get going. I pretty much just got past the ribbing. It is knit from the top down. So I have quite a few whips, so I'm going to go through them pretty fast except for a couple ones we'll talk about more. So that is my only cast on. So other things I've been working on, we're going to start with the little ones that we're going to get through here. So again, I'm still knitting on dishcloths. This is housed in my bag by Knick Knack Knits, which I have linked below. So I'm just working on this red. Pretty much I'm just going till I finish the ball making dishcloths, and then I'll just start on the next color because like I said, it's real mindless, it's real easy. This cotton does not hurt my hands. It's really nice. I get it from Hobby Lobby. And I don't have the color name, it's just this bright red. So the next small project I've been working on quite a bit off and on. This is pretty much by my purse project, and this is the Church Shawl by ArkansasYarnCo. And of course I'm in the middle of the row, but that's okay. So you can see the ducky where I was at last time. This is just a very simple shawl. You don't need to think about it. Every other row is increasing, obviously on this side, and this. I really like this pattern's easy, and this yarn is really nice, and it'll make a really great shawl because it's bamboo. So I'm using Universal Bamboo Pop, and this is the High Tide colorway. So this one is just always ongoing. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to move my duck up, show where I've showed this at. Maybe. There we go. Okay, and this bag is in my bag by the Bay Bag Co. I got this bag at DFW Fiber Fest, the last one they had, so 2019. I love this bag. The last small project I just kind of re-picked back up is my Journey socks. So if you remember, I finished one. This is that no-show sock. Has a real interesting start of socks. So here's where I'm at. So this is where you cast on. It's not even in the round because you're gonna go. It's just really interesting. I'm anxious to finish this one and try it and see if it's comfortable and it doesn't slip. I've never really worn no-show socks before, so we'll see. But I finally decided, I've been staring at my one sock up here and I'm like, okay, I need to just finish that second sock. And Nicole of Professor Pearl just did a little podcast with her husband where she showed all of their single socks that they just had knit one sock and hadn't even started the second one. And it was a ton. This is the only one I have. I pretty much knit a sock and immediately start the second one. I usually don't have second sock syndrome, but this one just hadn't been started for a while. So here's the start of it. And this colorway is Aimee. It's in her BFL Tough Sock, and it's called Aimee's Sweater. So that's that. And it is in my Mountain State Stitches bag. Maddie gifted this bag to me. I love it because it has the little socks on it, so of course it has to be a sock bag. Okay, so next, after that, I have been working some on my Summer Secret crop. So this crop top, I'm a little nervous about it. I think it'll be fine either way, but no, I did not swatch for it, in case you're asking. But this texture definitely isn't going to be like a tank top where you can just wear it by itself. You know, like a bralette kind of thing. Just because the texture is this is a dark yarn and it's see-through. I cast on, this is a bottom-up tank. So I cast on more stitches on this because I'm bigger around my stomach area. So I'm actually have been doing decreases every few rows up the side as I go up to go down. I think I cast on a size 2 sizes up. And so I'm trying to decrease stitches for 2 sizes down now as I go up. And I'm almost there, I think. I have a few more rows of decreases. But yeah, not much to say about this one. The yarn was Deep Stash. This was Primrose yarn Adelaide base in the Picket line or the Parade is the colorway. So steadily working on another summer knit, and it is in my Fringe Supply Co bag that I got from Aimee in her signature yellow. Of course, Fringe Supply is no longer in business. All right, next is my Advent Granny. I think the next time I show this, I'm unfortunately going to have to switch bags because it is getting a little tight in here. So this used my last year pineapple yarn advent calendar from the center out. And then I started getting the mystery mini skeins club from her, still by Pineapple Yarn. So you can see it, a nice fade to a certain point. Now I'm just using monthly colors. I'm 2 months in. I have not caught up yet. I know that this month is out for delivery today. I have this much left on the last color to be caught up. I'm trying to stay up to date on this per month so that way, because this is just going to be like a lap blanket, so I don't know how many of these I need before I'll be done. So I'm just steadily working on this, so I probably will work on this after the podcast to try to get this caught up. So when I get the new club today, I can ball those up and get started on them. And this is in my Black Pearl Magic Pinkalicious bag. Love this bag. Sparkly. So yeah, made good progress on that. All right, next, I made some progress on this. This is my Cape Creek Minimalist. This is definitely not a summer knit. So, you'll remember last time I showed, I finished the body and I had started on the sleeve, and I was trying to decide when I was going to switch colors because basically this sweater has a big ribbing section on the sleeves, and I want to do all that in the next color. So I did start that, which I think it looks really good. I'm super happy with it. It's kind of like a grayish blue, which is similar to the tones in this variegated color I have going on here. So basically, because I don't like full length sleeves on anything because I'm so hot-blooded, I had tried this on after I podcast last time to see where it was, and I really liked where it was. So I think I'm going to do like 5 inches of the ribbing here. And then I'll start the other sleeve, and then of course I have the neckline to pick up. I'm trying to decide if the neckline I want to do this color or if I want to keep it with the main color. What do you guys think? I don't know. Maybe I'll know when I have both sleeves done to see how I feel about it. Yeah, so this one, you know, I'm not really in a rush to because I'm not going to wear it anytime soon. This is in another one of my Knick Knack Knits bag. This one I got at ArkansasYarnCo at the Yarn Crawl last year. And Nikki, I know, is going to be at the Yarn Crawl again this year, so I'm sure she's going to have a bunch of these bags. I love this bag for a sweater. Okay, so this is the one that I really need to focus my attention on, and I have finally made some decent progress. So this is the boxy chevrons. So I've talked about this for a while. This is the sweater that we are coordinating with Arkansas Yarn Co. for those that want to make this sweater and then go to Yarn Crawl, and we'll all have matching sweaters. So I'm really trying to get this done. I will be at the Yarn Crawl on Friday, July 15th, which is the first day of the Yarn Crawl. Fortunately, I can't be there the next day because we have a wedding to go to, but I should be there the following Saturday also. So I need to have this done and blocked by July 15th. And time is slowly going away from me. So I pretty much have a month. So last time, I think did I even have the second sleeve done? Maybe. I had the first sleeve, you knit the sleeves flat. I had the first sleeve done. I had the second sleeve done, if not almost done. So basically, I was having a hard time with the folded cuff. I've never done that before, and I was really struggling with it for some reason. My brain could not get around it. And then after that, then you seam up a certain amount of stitches, and then each section, so basically, because it's flat, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections where you pick up a certain amount of stitches to connect in the round. So I just got back in town Thursday night. Today's Saturday. I pretty much finished off the sleeve, did the seaming yesterday, and connected it into the round, but didn't really do anything. So I basically started picking up stitches. I had to finish picking up stitches this morning. And now, so it is connected in the round. This is going to look a little crazy. It is connected in the round. I've picked up stitches, and then what you do is you start on short rows. So I just finished the short rows on the front. So here is essentially my sweater. So now I'm going to be moving to the back and doing the same short rows. And then it will just be knitting in the round. So I'm hoping if I today can finish the short rows on this and start knitting in the round, that I can focus a lot of attention on this, because it's not even that it was hard, just my brain couldn't get around it for some reason. And I've talked about this before, at least with me, there's some times where the task isn't even hard. Like my brain's like, no, we're not doing that right now. So that's kind of where I was at before my trip. And even though I was kind of stressed that I needed to be working on it, I'm like, I just can't do it right now. I came home and just did it, and it was fine. So I just have short rows and then just knitting in the round. And I love my colors. So the blue color is Knit Picks. These are both Muse, and this is Savvy. And then my main color, which will be my whole body, so I'm done with the blue. This is Delight Speckle. So this is the one thing that's on my needles currently that I have to focus a lot of my attention to, because I have 1 month to finish it. I'm sure I can do it. It's just, a deadline in my brain. So this is in my thread and maple cork bag. Again, this project will probably be in a different bag next time, because it's kind of, the way it is, it's kind of full, a little bit closer to the zipper than I'd like. So that probably will be in a switched bag by the next time you see it again. All right, the last project that is currently on my needles, and I would like to get more of my attention done. I've switched bags at this end, is my chevron blanket for Lori and my make-along. So I have made some progress. This is pretty much, when I was away, this is the one thing I regularly knit on while I was gone. So I'm still in Maed's colorway right here. I'm seeing there might just some messy stitches there. So this is again, I won't go into it because you can watch my videos with Lori when we do the unboxing of the Sock Yarn Society every month and we show our blankets. So this one doesn't really have a deadline, but in my mind, every time I have the date that Lori and I are going to film for the month, I like to at least have last month's yarn showing. As you see, I have this month's color and then I do a border between each month. So I'm hoping to get through this, do my border, and start June's color, which is right here. It's blowing out really bad. Yeah, but I'm way farther behind than I would like to be. I don't know. But the other sweater is priority over this, even though I really like to get this caught up and done. This, again, is in another Knick Knack Knits bag. This is a bag, again, on videos with Lori and I, we've shown. Lori bought this for me as a gift to go with our chevron-themed make-along. It is obviously giant. It does have a zipper in it. And it has a little bag so you can find your notions. You don't have to dig through this giant bag. So yeah, this is my blanket and I love it. It's going to be the most special blanket ever. So that is all of my works in progress. So if you're just here for the knitting, thank you for coming by. Next, we're going to go over acquisitions because I've gotten a few on my trip while I was gone. Podcast of the week, and then we're going to go into what my goals, how I did last month, and what are my goals for this month. So let's get into acquisitions. All right, so I went to visit family in Iowa for a week, and one really special thing about Iowa, I grew up in a very small town, but since I have moved away, there is now a family that has an alpaca farm right outside of the town I lived in, where my family still lives at. So I have gone many times. I have a lot of alpaca yarn from her, and really exciting. Not only do I have acquisitions to show you, but I got to interview Julie, who is the owner, her and her husband, of the alpaca farm, and they have a store there. And so I will be getting that together, and hopefully next week there will be a special video of footage from the alpaca farm and an interview with her, how they got into this business. It was really neat to hear her. I'd never heard her story before, so it was really neat. So stay tuned for that. So the thing is, I know for me right now, I constantly say that I've been buying yarn and things, but I've been trying to be more conscious about what it is I'm getting, because I have a good stash. So either I want to be, getting something for a certain project or something I don't have. And so it's hard when you're traveling. You want to support those yarn stores and things, those small businesses. But you're like, I don't want to just buy a random skein of yarn just to buy a random skein of yarn. So, and I'm going to insert a picture. I have 5 skeins of alpaca yarn from Julie's farm, from her alpacas, that I still haven't used up here. So I didn't want to buy a ton of yarn, but I did buy some special things. So in the store at the alpaca farm, it's in a barn, and all downstairs is like kind of alpaca themed things, whether it's clothing made with alpaca yarn. There's alpaca yarn socks, like pre-made, that they get from other places. And then upstairs is the yarn. They have a room where it's other people's alpaca yarn, and then they have a room where it's alpaca yarn from hers that is done right there. So of course that's the extra special room. So first of all, I bought this little guy because the dark gray. I have a little bit bigger of one I've gotten a few years ago that has a little knit hat on his head that I love, but I just have this little dark gray guy and I had to have him. So he will go up by the other one, his big brother. And then as far as yarn, this is a skein from Julie's alpaca. It is luxuriously soft. It's pink, and this is going to be a gift for somebody. They already know it and they've already seen it. But I had to show it here. So this, and you can see this unspun part here, is just gorgeous. Now this one, it is not from Julie's alpaca. However, this is from another local ranch. I picked this one up, and the feel is just so intriguing to me. So it is soft. I mean, you can see the fluff here. But it also feels really sturdy. I don't know how else to describe it. It's super soft and squishy, but really sturdy. A lot of this alpaca is so soft. That's why I still have 5 skeins that haven't been used, because I want to make it in a project that I know will stand the test of time, because it's very special yarn, but I'm worried that it's going to kind of grow to the point that it's not going to be recognizable what it was. So this has a little more detail on this. This is 224 yards, 2-ply, Sport DK. It says 98% alpaca and 2% Angelina, because it does have that glitter in there. I don't know. I think it's just the way it's plied or braided that's the strength I'm feeling. I don't know. It's so great. So this is for me. And then I bought something a little different. So I saw this kit. It is a needle felting kit. I've never needle felted. I have no clue how to do it. I know some girls in my knit night recently, I think, did some needle felting. So I might ask their help on this. But to make another little alpaca and a little knitted hat. So it came with this fiber. And I'm excited to try it. So I'll keep you updated when I actually do it. So that's all I got from her. So this is her business card, which is so cute. It is called Irish Meadows. There we go. So the thing about her, I will link her website below. But because they're mostly an alpaca farm, it's not like you're going to find a lot of shopping things online. But if you're ever in the area, you need to contact them to see when she can open her shop. Usually she's regularly open around Christmas season, but in the summer, it's pretty much she'll come by appointment, like if she knows you're coming in to shop. But she is really great. So that is from the alpaca farm. So on the way home from Iowa, on my route home, I realized I was pretty close to a new to me yarn store. They are on the Arkansas Yarn Crawl this year, and they were very close to the route I take home. So I decided to make a pit stop into Paragould, I believe, Arkansas, and I stopped at Unraveled. So that's her card. I also got a little sticker there. All right, so I only got like really two things. Again, trying to get things that I don't have or anything like that. So the first thing I got was a Malabrigo. This is a lace weight. Again, it's alpaca. So my local yarn shop, Lori, ArkansasYarnCo, has all Malabrigo, but she does not carry lace weight. So since I had just finished this tee, I was kind of eyeing these that I could use this as my lace if I wanted to do another one. Striped. So this is called Silk Paca, and this is a 50-gram skein, and it's 420 yards. So, Silk Paca. And it was like a special colorway, so it just says single lot. So there's not really a color to this. So I got that. That is the only yarn I got. And again, I got another new craft I've never done before. But next we're going to talk about the podcast of the week. And this podcaster talks about spindle and spinning all the time, where I've been curious about it. Just for fun. Like, I don't see myself getting into it a lot. But she had spindles, and I'm like, that is definitely something I don't have. My yarn store doesn't have. And I thought this was so pretty. This one that I got, some flowers in there. So I got a spindle. And I got a little bit of fiber. And again, since I don't spin or get fiber or any of that, I don't really know how much it usually costs. But I got these two things, which is all I need to spin myself some yarn, for $26 total, which I thought was a great deal. Because I thought, even if I either one, hate it and realize this is not for me, that I'm not really sad about that I spent this money on it. So again, don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm hoping I can find some videos to help me, because I don't know of anyone local that knows how to do this. So that is my purchases. Oh, and besides that, I talked about that this was coming the last podcast. So this is, again, from Knick Knack Knits. This was a custom order. You saw my little dishcloth bag. It has the same fabric. And I said, oh, I'd love that in a sweater bag. So she made it. And I got that delivered while I was gone. So that is all my purchases. So now we have the podcast of the week. So the podcast of the week this week is called Stop, Drop, and Knit. And this is hosted by Lisa. She lives in New Jersey. And I actually stumbled upon Lisa's podcast when she first started podcasting. So I actually caught her from episode 1, which is super fun because then you kind of see their transitioning as a podcaster. So I really enjoyed her. Lisa, of course, is a knitter. But she also enjoys spinning with her spindle, and she loves natural dyeing. In fact, she's gotten so into natural dyeing the last year, I feel like, that she has so much yarn that she will be opening a shop to sell her natural dyed yarns. I love Lisa. She's super down to earth. She's very regular about podcasting, and so definitely go check her out. Like I said, she's the one that inspired me to pick up a spindle and some fiber. And then yesterday, I had just DM'd her on Instagram like, hey, because of you, I went and bought this. Do you have any video suggestions? Because I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. So she was so super helpful and gave me so many suggestions that I told her I was a bit overwhelmed that I was going to have to just one at a time do it and then maybe come back and read this message to kind of read through what she was telling me. And she even posted one of her episodes that she kind of went through a lot of the spinning process itself. So I'm really excited, and she's obviously so sweet and helpful, so I really enjoy her. All right, so we have 2 things left to cover. 1, this is the first episode of the month, so we're going to go over goals. And then 2, if you entered my last, if you watched my last podcast and commented to win a sweater quantity of Cascade Ultra Pima, stay tuned because at the end I'm going to announce who won that yarn. So let's go into goals really quick. So my May goals was to catch up on my chevron throw. I did not do that. That's the only one, though, I didn't do. So the other one was to catch up on my Advent Granny, is to use all the colors before I got the month, which I did do that. Finished my second sleeve for the boxy chevron, which I did do that before I left out of town, which was the end of May. And finished my rocket tee, which obviously I did do that. So not too bad on my goals. I had 5 skeins of yarn come in for the month of May, which was total of 75 skeins so far this year. So this doesn't count the ones I just got. I'll be in this month's. And then I had 11 skeins go out the door. So I have 79 skeins so far that have left. So right now I have more out than in. So, which is my goal, is more out the door than in. Because it's fun to buy yarn. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it because that's just crazy. All right, so for my goals for June, I want to finish the Journey sock and get that second sock off my needles. I'm not even saying catch up with my chevron throw because I just don't think it is. But I would love to, before I film with Lori at the end of this month, when we do our next unboxing video, I would love to at least have June's color, that yellow, in my blanket because I like to show what it looks like knitted up in our video. So we'll see. I would like to get 7 inches of length on my boxy chevrons. So basically now I'll just be knitting in the round, and I know I like 13 to 15 inches from my arm, usually on a sweater, to feel comfortable. So I'd like to at least get half of that done because I pretty much have 4 weeks that I need to finish. So I really need to get 7 inches done on that sweater. within the next 2 weeks of the month. I guess 3 weeks of the month. And then the last thing I want to do is I signed up for a test knit. So I'll insert a picture of what yarns I'm using. They're all from my stash, which you've actually seen here when I acquired them all this year. But I was excited to do that. So I am going to be knitting a pattern from Holy Locatelli. I am a sucker for a boxy sweater, if you haven't figured that out yet. Let's see if I can show it here. There we go. This is, as right now, it is called the Lace and Fade Boxy. I will not be fading. I'll show you I will be using a mohair for the lace part, which is this. Sorry, that's better. So this is by Cake Wool. And then this, which I got, not that long ago, really. This is from Junk Yarn. This is the Astronaut Barbie colorway I had gotten. Oh, the skein is falling apart. So I will be using this for just the knitting sections, and then the mohair is for the lace sections. Right now I don't have a time I have to get it done yet. I haven't heard, but yesterday I caked all the yarn up. So today, Saturday, my goal is to at least finish the other short rows on my boxy chevrons and get this going. So pretty much my goal for June is get this on my needles, which I don't know how far I can say is my goal. I don't know, but I'll get this on my needles hopefully today. If not today, definitely tomorrow by this weekend. So that's the other project between the boxy chevrons and this test knit and my blanket is the 3 projects I really need to focus on. So that is it for this episode, except for we have a big winner. If you watched last episode, I showed off the Cascade Ultra Pima. There was 7 skeins of it, which was 1,540 yards. And this was yarn that I had said that was kind of cursed for me, that I had tried to make a few different projects. They never worked out for me. So I have them in baggies. Some of them are caked up, but essentially it's 7 full skeins of yarn. And the winner of that yarn is Carol Fields. So congratulations, Carol. And if you're watching this, please contact me. You can email me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com and give me your full name and your mailing address. So thanks everybody for commenting on the video. And Carol, make sure that you tag me on Instagram if you end up making something with this. I'm anxious to see it actually made into a finished object. So hopefully you can knit a summer garment. So, well, thanks everyone for watching, and look out for the alpaca farm and interview hopefully next week. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.